Fly, fly, oh to be a fly. Fly, fly, come and be a fly on the wall.
Hello there. Our house is a mess. Come on in. To be more specific, our house is actually a tool shed. So come in and get drilled and screwed over. I'm your neighborhood friendly black girl, Amber.
And I'm your meaty hamburger, Ben.
We love a hamburger bed. And welcome to Fly on the Wallin. We're here to share our stories of dating, parenting, and what happens when you record it all for the world to see. Before we jump right in, we always and forever want to thank those of you who support us on Patreon, aka the Country Club. You actually posted a video there recently.
I did. Yeah, check it out. Wild is shirtless. And because there's a lot of pedophiles in the world, Amber did not feel like publishing that on TikTok. So it's just her.
Because no pedophiles exist on Patreon.
Yeah. I mean, at least if the pedophile's going to...
They're paying.
Give us something.
They're paying pedos. This is a great way to kick off our show.
No, basically, public, it's not public. So
yeah.
It's more private. So it's not running through an algorithm. And it's just a cute video of Amber and I discussing the best way to teach our child how to eat watermelon.
Cute. That's cute.
It's cute.
You're always kind of cute. You actually look really cute today.
Thank you. Amber helped, and her friend Taylor, a line sister, creative director, helped style me.
I know. She literally saw the pink in your shirt and was like, oh, you got a pink. Let's go.
That's what people say when, you have an eye for this. Literally, you can just see colors.
You can see color. I don't know where to, I have no segue for seeing color. So we're just going to move on to thanking all of those of you who support us on Patreon for $1, $2, $5 a month. It's really just great to be in this studio with you. And I don't know why I'm having a moment right now. I'm very happy to just be here with you today. I feel like Ben and I had just a nice talk last night, and we just spent some time together, no phones out, just watching a movie that I've been watching this movie like 5 nights because every time it gets good, I keep falling asleep. We'll talk about it in the Shelfie segment, but didn't you feel like we really connected last night?
We did connect last night, yeah. And it just had to do with you owning up to your mistakes and then hugging me and then also wine. And then an intentional conversation. So wine, forgiveness, and conversation in a movie.
Okay, so here's the thing about it. I will admit Amber was wrong. I have a bad habit of when something is wrong, I need to stop what I'm doing right now and make sure Ben knows what's wrong. And I will admit that I have a tendency to wake him up out his sleep when he has done me wrong, because in my brain it feels like he has woken me up. He's stopped the momentum of what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So he about to get up, and you share with me how devastating that is for you.
We call that vindictiveness.
Mm-hmm. I'm not waking you up.
Very mature behavior.
I'm not splashing a glass of water on your head. I'm just simply being like, lights on. Let's talk about this, because I can't go to sleep. I can't go to bed next to a man.
Is that your expectation? Wow, thank you, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
Love and Hip Hop LA, Wallin edition. It's hard for me to sleep next to you when I'm upset. So it's easier for me to wake you up. We talk about it, and then we both
that's
sleep
why
peacefully.
We have a couch in a guest bedroom.
I know. I was going to sleep on the couch last night, but you came down there.
I did. And I woke you up more respectfully.
Interesting. So you did. So waking each other up is okay.
Well, I knew that you have told me in the past that if you fall asleep on the couch to wake you up, because you've always woken up with, a crink in your neck or just felt really uncomfortable. So I definitely felt comfortable waking you up because you've given me permission to do that.
That's true.
Where I texted you were coming home from a work thing. And I said, hey, I'm going to bed early. I'm so exhausted. I've had such a long day. And I locked the downstairs garage door because I didn't want someone coming in and murdering me in my sleep. But
no one's going to come in there.
You parked in the garage.
And I almost pissed myself.
You almost pissed yourself, and you couldn't find your key fast enough because I guess you don't organize your keys in your backpack.
But Ben has it. Let me say this. Ben has a tendency to lock doors without even thinking.
I'm
So
terrified of murderers.
I will go on the patio and be typing, and then I'll take a Zoom call. And when I try to go back into the house, it's locked, and Ben has left. So I've been
It's like
locked on the
100
patio.
degrees
I've been
outside.
locked out of the garage, just locking. Even though there are other ways that would stop somebody from coming into the home.
Well,
Like,
you won't let me buy a gun, so
I never told you couldn't buy a
I'm just
gun.
kidding. I don't want a gun.
I'm just saying, Ben, just sometimes think like, am I locking a door that Amber is behind? So it feels so
Is this
personal.
are we talking about metaphors now?
Yes, maybe we are, but here's the thing. You told me once that I'm allowed to wake you up if I'm in the mood. You don't mind being waking up to some pussy.
For sexual relations, for biblical knowing, correct. Yeah, knowage, yeah.
Biblical knowledge. What does that mean?
Oh yeah, in the Bible they'll say, and he knew her.
Oh.
Yeah, it was code for fucking.
Oh, he knew it like that. Okay, so you're okay with being woken up for biblical knowing and that the big P. But if I'm upset, I can't wake you up.
Yeah.
Feels like a double standard to me. Okay, I'm making a vow on this podcast that I will not wake Ben up anymore. But what I can't do is sleep next to you when I'm upset. I think that's fair. Agree to disagree. Anyway, today to start off our show, we typically start with a section called #influence, where we talk about our lives as creators and filmmakers and directors and editors and oversharers. Right, Ben?
Mm-hmm.
So, essentially, we just came back from Atlanta, where we went to our very first film festival, which was really fun because we got to just network and connect with people. What was your favorite part about that whole experience?
I guess watching movies that were terrible and being like, dang, Amber could make something better than this,
Ben, that's not fair. All of them weren't. We saw tons and tons of films.
I'm joking.
Some of them were some of the most incredible things I've ever seen, and some of them were really rough. And it did inspire me to be like, oh, I got this on my next project.
And then some of them had this beautiful, polished quality, and they knew what they were doing making the film, but the writing was not there. And the storytelling, the narrative, the editing, like seeing how to cut a scene up and how to piece it together was not there, but the professionalism was there. And I realized that there was a lot of things that Amber and I are missing just professionally because we don't have the knowledge or the training.
Right.
And so it was inspiring to think, okay, we got to build a team for our next project. And going there, I was so inspired of seeing some really, really great films. I would say most of the films I saw were pretty great. And I started writing my own screenplay. We're going to do a little short, like a 15-minute short, and it deals with an issue that Amber and I are both very concerned about. Mm-hmm. And I think probably most people.
Of course.
So, yeah.
Which is exciting. Great. I feel like I took the reins in a good way on the first project, the documentary. So I'm so looking forward to writing this short with you and just learning more about like film and editing and stuff in general, because I feel like I need to take the sentence, I didn't go to film school, out of my vocabulary. I find myself saying that like all the time.
Almost like an excuse.
Yes, I'm like, I didn't go to film school, so I didn't know that this was the name of this. I didn't go to film school, so I didn't know I needed a grip and a boom mic and a gaffer and wardrobe. Somebody should be doing this, and I should have done pre-production. I didn't go to film school, so I didn't know that.
All that stuff is so easily learned online or getting
Is easily a word?
Easily, yeah.
Oh, you said easily.
Easily.
I kind of like easily. That's why I was like, wait, is that a word? Okay,
it's the easy ability to do something.
No, I like that portmanteau.
Yeah, I put it together. It was great. Portmanteau, I think, refers to an actual word, but a
portmanteau is when a word that's like two words put together, like a spork.
Right, but that's an actual thing, like in the dictionary. I don't think easily is.
Yeah, but I like your portmanteau.
We can reconstruct a new portmanteau, put it in the Urban Dictionary.
That part.
Something easy ability. We have the easy ability, and that refers to as easeability.
I also was talking to another creator last week, not creator, but she's like a host and journalist, and I feel like creator slighted what she does. And she was just talking about how you underestimate how much it is a pleasure to work with you. Like you'll say to yourself, like, I didn't go to film school, so why would this person ever accept me? Why would Jordan Peele ever want to work with me? And just getting that she booked this like really great. She's a fashion designer as well, so she pitched herself to Macy's, and she was like, "There's no way they'll ever want to work with
This
me."
is Nina Parker.
Nina
Yeah.
Parker. There's no way they'll ever want to work with me. And then her brand manager was like, actually, they would love to work with you. And they said it would be their pleasure. And so I've just been really carrying that energy with me from thing to thing. And I came home the other day, and I'm pretty sure I said this to you, but I was like, Ben, it is a pleasure to work with you every day. Like,
Aw.
I know that I can be difficult and particular, but when I leave our home and see how many things we're doing and how high our productivity is, like, I think we needed Atlanta to realize, like, holy shit, we are doing a lot. Is it a pleasure to work with me?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask that question. Yes, it is a pleasure
I
to
think we
work with
should.
you.
I think
That-
we should move on to the next segment.
The final products. Yeah. The other thing that's so fascinating is that one of the big things about filmmaking is that a lot of these filmmakers that I met, they just want to make films.
Yeah.
But now there's such a requirement to have some sort of Instagram, TikTok, social media knowledge. And in fact, unfortunately, if you don't have that, your film's really not going to be pushed out there in the same way.
Mhm.
And so being able to manipulate social media for people to be interested in your film. When I say manipulate, like create fun trailers or just show people the cool production that you've put together, I think is a huge, huge plus. And that's what they're looking for. So in the panels we sat on, they're like, make sure you just constantly tell people about your project. I was like, oh, Amber knows how to do this. This is a skill that she already has. And so now it's just getting the filmmaking part together as far as the professionalism. So yeah, I look forward to working on this script. It's going to be about the incredibly impossible housing market and about people's inability to ever own a home. And so we have a little short idea that is
Don't give too much, because if I see somebody that made my short into a thing,
no,
before we
that's
finish
it's the theme
We're
on
ours.
the housing market and the inevitable bubble.
Yeah, a
that
little
will
comedy,
arouse.
a little horror. It's going to be fun. I was also listening to some panels this weekend, and they were asking these filmmakers on this panel, they were like, what is the best advice that you would give to new filmmakers? Enter us. And he was like, oh, well, whenever you apply to film festivals, especially ones you feel like, I know I should have been a part of this, just email them and say, like, hey, I would like a reconsideration. And, I'm a Black woman. So when somebody says no to me the first time, I'm like, no, they said no, there's no way. But that just owning that spirit of do not take no for an answer, or like don't take no until they're like absolutely no, is fascinating to me. Because he was like, I've sent an email to be reconsidered for something, and 60% of those, they were like, oh my gosh, yes, you were lost, your film was lost in the shuffle, we did rewatch it, and you are gonna now be in the festival. Which is
that's great
insane
numbers.
to me.
That's
I
great
know
numbers.
it is. And maybe he's just like a bigger filmmaker, so
I never heard of
he
him.
has that. He taught me that not to take no for an answer. I have a couple of projects right now that I'm doing where I'm like, is this going to be renewed? Or even with this show, I pitched this actual show to a couple of
The
networks,
podcast.
this podcast, and like nobody has said yes yet. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to self-produce it. We're going to self-produce it.
Thank you, Spotify, for supporting us.
Thanks for supporting us and giving us the space. But like, we're going to self-produce it. We're going to make all the trailers. And when we say like working with a network, typically when you have a podcast, for those of you who maybe want to have a podcast one day, typically when you have a podcast, you're with a network, and hopefully in some world, that network is helping you with pre-production, post-production, editing trailers, helping you with sound engineering, all of those things. And those things for the past 2 years have been all us.
Yeah, and
they
it takes
take
a
hours
lot
out of
of
your
time.
week.
Hours of editing, hours of putting together the reels, and so
Making the outlines.
And this is completely produced with Spotify as a sponsor,
For sure.
but not part of the production part.
Yes. So that stuff is just a lot of work. And if you're thinking like, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't have anything to talk about that's worth all that, it's like, look and make that outline, and if you believe in it and you get those segments going, like, just produce it yourself. That's been the name of the game for me. Any last final thoughts on that and the hashtag influenced?
No, ATL is a great freaking city. I look forward to when Amber's a multi-millionaire, buying a little nice little condo up there and spending a lot of time and more time in ATL. It's
I love
great,
you
great
speaking
place.
that into existence for me. A
Multi-
multi-millionaire?
You're
What
gonna
is
have,
a multi-millionaire
it means
versus
that
a
you have
millionaire?
a millionaire means that you just have $1 million, and then a multi-millionaire means that you have multiple $1 million.
Got it. I
I
don't know
mean,
why I never thought about that.
maybe hopefully you're not a multi-millionaire, because multi-millionaires have to really take advantage of other people,
Right.
and they have to invest in
They do. There's no way not
projects
to.
that are not healthy for the environment. So maybe if you have enough money just to get a condo in ATL, I would love
Just to own, just
a little 2-bedroom
just to own something in LA, own something in Chicago, own something in Atlanta.
and pop all
And I
around.
feel like these days you do have to be a multimillionaire to do that. It feels that way. Speaking of pop, today for the imperfect parenting segment, we're going to talk about the egg crack challenge. Ben, what's the egg crack challenge?
Okay, the egg crack is when you invite your toddler or child to make some food with you, and you get an egg out, and instead of popping the egg on the bowl that you're going to mix something with, you pop it on their head. And the result is, for some people, comedic, and so a lot of these challenges have gone viral because the kids look very shocked, the kid starts crying, or the kid has egg on their
Literal
head.
egg on their face.
Yeah, so you crack the egg on the baby's head or your child's head unknowingly, and they cry or get upset or look shocked, and then you as the parent laugh. And apparently this is so funny and so loved on the internet that it now has become a trend.
Yeah, it has become a trend. So, I mean, I think it's pretty clear how you feel about it based on how you described it. But Miss Rachel recently had to come to the streets to
Yeah.
gather the toddler parents.
If Miss Rachel is calling you out on some shit, one of the kindest, like most inclusive people I freaking know, like you want to eat chicken nuggets? Go ahead, eat chicken nuggets. You want to eat, organic yogurt and organic, do that. Like, she is all about inclusivity, and she had to call out people, and she made a really powerful point about when you do that, you're disrupting trust and you're disrupting safeness.
Yeah.
And people, she just quotes some of the things that these kids say, like, that made me scared, or I was shocked. And when you do that to a kid, I mean, it's just bullying. It's straight up bullying.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. When I first saw the video, especially because the first couple I saw in my feed, the kid didn't cry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some kids were like, whoa, like, and some kids do like a little playful, physical, get you gotchas. Like, Wild loves being hit in the head with a pillow. Like, when you pick a pillow up off the couch and just bonk her with it, she loves that. So I remember thinking, like, this doesn't look that bad to me. But then I guess I saw some where, like, the kids were crying and things like that. And I don't know, are we mad that people are doing playful jests with their kids, or are we mad that they're doing it for views? I think it's the for views part that has really got parents being like, this is child abuse. Like, I just don't think it's child abuse. Like, I remember seeing comments like that. But it is cringy. It's exploitive. Did I say that right? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
When you do it, record it, and then share it for social media.
Right. And this is a trend every couple of months, or, once a year. Some trend will come where you do something terrible to a kid and you rely on the kid's innocence and unawareness of the world for this shock value for the kid, and it becomes very funny. And some of them, basically, for me, it comes down to manipulating a child and disrupting their trust and disrupting your their belief that you are going to create a safe boundary for them. Because, you see this time and again, like the Jimmy Kimmel, like, oh, I ate all your candy type of thing.
Yeah, like for Halloween, like, me and Dad ate all of your candy, Wild, and then just watch them have like a full meltdown or whatever.
I don't want to do that.
Me either.
I think, because you're lying to your kid. And even once you say, like, yo, I didn't do that, and the candy's there, the kid's still going to be like, remember that feeling, because that feeling that the kid has is still real, one of like shock and mistrust. That's still a real feeling, whether what you did or not
Right.
is true.
I definitely look forward to pranking in my household. I personally, for you and I just don't want Wild to be the butt of the joke. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to team up with her to prank you, or you and her team up to prank me.
Well, because there's trust developed. The kids
Right,
are so
right.
young and they haven't developed that trust, or they don't understand context. They don't understand the value of pranking, or even that social media would be good. For example, I did a little prank to you, Amber, and you didn't take it well.
When did you prank me?
I bought you,
Uh
and you did not
Okay,
take
go.
this
Yeah,
well.
let's talk about that on the podcast,
Because-
because we're over it now.
You were, but you didn't take it well, and I said, "Oh, I wanted to film it."
Can I tell the story?
And you were like, "No, dude, like you actually hurt my feelings." So I was like, you know what?
People are gonna think
If
I'm
you're
a brat.
sensitive,
but-
if you're sensitive about this, how much
Yes.
more a kid is gonna be?
You are pushing me right now, so I'm gonna tell them what happened.
Okay, tell them.
Let me set the scene. So this was before we went to Atlanta.
True.
Now, mind you, niggas love to say that. Now, mind you, here's what happened. I was going into the week where I was, I directed and edited and spent hours on the film We're Pregnant and Other Lies. Shameless plug for the documentary. And now I had been chosen for my first film festival where the film would premiere in Atlanta, Georgia. And Ben tells me he got me a gift. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking about. That's what happened that week. Ben's like, I went out and got you a gift, and I feel like it's something that you and I could do on a date. Now, I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, my husband wants to celebrate me for my accomplishments. I accomplished something really big this week that didn't really have a big monetary gain. So
None.
None. I only had cash to spend on this passion project of mine. And now it was finally going to be recognized at a festival.
Independent wealth.
So Ben comes in with a gift. I unwrap the gift, and it is a Nintendo Switch. I don't play video games. I've never, that's Ben's whole persona. I have lots of passions, lots of interests. I'm a big foodie. I love massages. I love plants and fresh cut flowers. So Ben came home and told me that he got me something for me, and it was a Nintendo Switch.
And I was doing it sort of as a prank, and Amber did not take that well at all.
Because I'm like, okay, I'll take this is what you got, but where's the real gift for my hard work? Because you told me you had a gift for me.
That dick.
No.
I could have.
Return it. I don't want it.
I just had a really graphic depiction. There was
No.
There's a great comic book called Orc Stain. I think I've talked about this before, and the currency is it's about orcs, but the currency is other orcs' penises.
Okay.
And so you buy things. It's a beautiful comic book. Everyone should read it. But
I do this to Ben at home or when we were friends. What does this mean, Ben?
Yeah, it means reel it in.
Reel it in. Go back to
But
why you
sometimes
got
when
me
you got
a
a
Nintendo
big
Switch.
fish, sometimes when you got a big fish, it takes a little bit of time to reel it in. So yeah, I mean, we had a friend who how am I trying? All right, we had a friend recently who passed away, but one of the things he sort of got his wife to do was to play video games with him, and so they played like certain video games, and a lot of the video games they played was on the Switch because it's more family friendly. And I got Mario Kart, which is a game I don't really like to play. So I was thinking this would be a fun little date thing. So the prank was going to be, I bought this really for me, but honestly, like, you'll probably end up playing and we'll have a lot of fun. And so
Then
I saw
frame
myself.
it like that. Don't say I got you something.
Yeah, I could have.
Say, like, Amber.
The delivery was wrong.
Just say, Amber, it would mean so much to me. I love playing video games and I want you to be a part of that. It would mean so much to me if we could play the Nintendo Switch together. I know the one game that you would play with your brother as a child was Mario Kart, so I got that game for
Yeah.
you.
I thought I said all that.
It would mean a lot
I thought
for
I
you
said
to
all
play this
that.
game with me. But don't wrap a Nintendo Switch and give it to me, because that ain't my gift. That's the gift you bought for yourself.
I did wrap it. I found like a home improvement magazine, and I had to rip that magazine out piece by piece. It took me a long time to wrap because the magazine was so tiny that I had to use all the pieces.
You still owe me something for the festival week.
I do. You got a massage coming up. You're going to a baseball game. You're about to have. I'm gonna watch the kid.
Yes.
That could be your gift. But
I'll take that.
I will get you some nice flowers. I will do something fun. But I want to come back that it was a prank, but also grounded in like love and grounded in, hey, this is something we can do together, enjoy together, and that still backfired because it wasn't considerate of your feelings. So how much more? We're
gonna start the Nintendo Switch crack challenge. Let's do that.
Yeah,
let's do that.
Like, well, yeah. And there's this whole funny bit of especially men buying gifts for their wives that they just really want, or parents do this for kids. They buy things for their kids that they just really want to have.
Yes.
And so it's sort of a funny bit that I wanted to record and put online, and I think that was just not.
It wasn't cute. I was like, why are you crying? I was like, the minute I saw that phone go out, I was like, oh. And again, we didn't post that on social media because I was like, you gonna look like the villain if this keeps happening. But you did apologize, and I told you, I was like, I would be open to playing the Switch with you. Do not say that is a gift for me though, because that is my gift to you.
Correct. The next day, I ended up cleaning. I think I did the whole cleaning of the house.
Yeah.
I put together all of Wild's clothes. We got a new dresser for her.
Yep, you did that.
Amber just has 3 closet full of clothes now.
She's an icon. What can I tell you?
It's fine, but I had to rearrange things.
I just got you some new stuff too.
You did. More clothes.
Yeah, you need some new basics.
Yeah, absolutely.
You do.
I do. Yeah. But I ended up doing things, and you came home, you cried, you were so excited that I was reorganizing the house, and I just made a very comfortable place. And then you're like, I'll play some video games with you. But at that point, I was so embarrassed.
Yeah, you were embarrassed.
I was so embarrassed.
You should have been embarrassed.
So embarrassed.
You should have been embarrassed.
I was like, man, you're right. I did buy this for me, but I also bought it for her, and I was trying to convince myself.
Yes, you were. But that's okay, because I'm going to play it with you one day. Just don't call it a gift for me. Any egg roll from any joint in the city is a gift for me.
It's true.
You want to talk about other people's relationships now?
Yeah, let's go into it.
So we are getting into the I do's and I don'ts of relationships. I upgraded my language. Letter number 1. Dear Amber and Ben, I've been in a 3-year relationship. We made an agreement that a text or phone call should not go past an hour without responding. But he went an entire day after we were texting back and forth. My brother called me toxic because he said an hour is nothing crazy to go over. Do you guys think that this is toxic behavior?
Yeah, I think you're a little bit crazy. And I mean that in the most disrespectful way possible.
Ben!
Ben,
I'm sorry to yell into your microphone, to yell into your ear, everyone. Ben. Now, here's the thing about it.
I check my phone twice a day.
This is where the issue lies. The issue lies in the statement, we made an agreement that the text message or phone call should not go past an hour.
It sounds like you twisted some arms and some titties to get that agreement. You twisted an arm and a dick to get that, because no man is going to agree for an hour. It is a man, right? It's her boyfriend.
I am assuming. Looks like.
I think she said boyfriend. I don't want to assume.
It says we made an agreement that a text or phone call should not go past an hour without but he went an entire day. So
you're tripping, as the children say.
Nobody says that anymore. They might be like, you OD for all. That's
you OD'd like overdose.
Yeah, but it's like you overdoing it. It's extra.
Oh, overdoing it, not overdosed.
Yeah, but people say it like it's OD. I don't say it. You can see me being uncomfortably trying to say it, how the kids say it, but that's
like
what they
heroin.
Say. Yes.
Okay. You OD'd on that expectation.
Like you're overdoing it. No, but here's the thing about it. Do I think this is a lot for us? Of course. Mm-hmm. But if you make an agreement in your relationship not to wake each other up and you violate that agreement, I can sort of say something to you.
I'm curious why the agreement in the first place, actually.
Now that's
the
what
question.
That's the real
question
or issue.
If I'm gonna turn on my armchair therapy.
I'm starting to think also because I was actually talking to another friend recently about this. She asked me, she was like, "Hey, I have a question for you." She'll be like, "On days where you're gone all day, like, does Ben check in on you at all?" But she's like, "Cause my husband doesn't at all." So I'm just trying to see if it's just me or whatever. And I'm like, "Oh no, Ben doesn't check in."
That's not true. I text you.
Ben,
I do. I say, hey,
you know your phone be
have
under
you
the bed,
are
in the
you in a
playpen,
dumpster? Are you beheaded in a
in the
dumpster?
refrigerator. How long? I want to ask you this: how often do you think you check in on me when we're not together?
Maybe like once, especially if you're gone a while. Like, hey,
And so give me the check
mostly
in
okay.
to hour ratio.
You
Check
know,
in to hour ratio.
I can't tell you that, but you know why I do that? Because I want to work out, or I want you to take the baby off from my hand, or I need a break. So that's why I do that. I know I do that because Wild is so active right now. She is running, bumping into things, throwing things, feeding our dog endless treats, playing music, jumping, dancing, flinging herself backwards like she's demon possessed or got catching the spirit. And okay. All that being said, I know
What's the
I
ratio?
text you. I mean,
Okay,
at
so
least once. If you're gone for 4 hours, I will text you. I will be like, yo, are you coming home? Or I'll call you. If you are out and you're downtown,
maybe 4 or 5 hours, but if I'm going like 2 or 3, I ain't hearing from
no, absolutely not.
you. Okay, so I do think that it would be strange if I went an entire day without hearing from you, if I was away from you.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what the situation was. Like when you did your moth story time event, I knew you were away, and I knew you were busy, and I knew you were meeting with different kinds of people.
Yeah,
So I
you
was
can
like,
check in
okay,
all. I called you each time.
yeah,
And then it got to the point where I was like, damn, can you answer the phone so I can see my baby?
yeah. No, I mean, because I figured that you were exploring the city.
Right.
You were there for 2 days. So I was like, she's going to be meeting with other storytellers. She's going to be running through pre-production. She's going to be relaxing at a hotel, maybe getting a massage, like hanging out in the pool. Like I knew that this was your special time. So I'm not going to be like, checking in on you because you're interacting with other people. You're going to go see Usher in Las Vegas soon.
Right.
And you're going to be with your girls. I'm not going to be texting you every hour
I can
or
appreciate
whatever.
that. I can appreciate that.
That's going to be annoying.
I would like you to check in on me once during this trip. How about that?
Yeah, I'll or like every night I'll probably call you before Wild goes to bed.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure if you didn't call me, I would probably call you, but you don't really give me a chance to call you because you're pretty consistent at calling me.
Right.
But I'm picking up, especially if you're away for work stuff.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I definitely.
I want to go back though. Why do you think this agreement would be made? Why would someone make this kind of agreement?
Especially with it being an hour. Like, I think agreements are fair. Like, you and I used to have a, like, any spending over this dollar amount is we need to converse with each other about. So I think it's good to have an agreement. 1 hour does feel pretty strict though. I wouldn't call you toxic. I just think 1 hour is a pretty like hours can go by like that. So I personally would prefer Ben to check on me once per 3 to 4 hours. I'll be honest about that.
If you're out of the home.
If I'm out of the home, once per 3 to 4 hours. Especially if I'm out of the home and it's like, okay, for example, after we record this podcast, I'm going to go have like drinks and dinner and a cocktail with a friend. And so let's say that starts at 6 p.m. And so
have drinks, dinner, and then another cocktail.
Yeah, drinks, dinner, and then cocktails.
Drinks and cocktails are different.
That makes sense. That's what everybody does. Drinks, dinner, then cocktails.
Yeah. So like wine.
It's like a cocktail
dinner,
sandwich.
And then cocktails. Yeah.
Wine. Yeah, it's like wine, dinner,
it's giving
cocktails with dinner,
but go
dessert, and a cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with me? I can't have a cocktail?
No, go get your
cock. I work hard. I'm getting my cock. So as I'm getting my cock, I want Ben to check in on me once every 3 to 4 hours. Now, once per hour is that's OD.
Yeah. It sounds like you might have some trust issues. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it if no one else will. What do the podcasters do? It's like, well, I'm gonna
tell you. I'm only telling y'all because ain't nobody else gonna tell y'all. It's like, okay, sir.
Like if a woman, what was that quote? Like,
it's like if a woman out here with a shirt that's comfortable on her body, I got a problem with that. She a hoe. We got to get Mel Mitchell in here because she does the Toxic Male podcast better than anybody I know.
I don't know who Mel Mitchell is. She's a hilarious stand-up comedian, and she does a whole bit where she plays like a hyper masculine podcaster, and it's just a
So
delight.
good.
It's a
She
delight.
lives in Atlanta, so when I was there for the festival, I texted her, and obviously she was in New York that weekend. She's in New York,
Mm,
touring with Kev.
cheers for you, Mel. Keep doing your thing.
Keep doing your thing. Also, this is completely random, but for those of you who don't know who Miss Rachel is because you're child free or your children are older than toddlers, she's a YouTube sensation. Everybody loves her.
I mean,
We'll tag
Beyonce
her.
levels.
Beyonce. She is the Beyonce of toddler world.
I'm not joking when I say like Beyonce level views. Like I'm talking like 200 million.
196 million views.
Yeah.
It's something crazy.
Like one of her the lower end of one of her videos is like 60 million views.
Right. She's the third. They're calling her the third parent.
Yeah.
So you ready for letter number 2?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Dear Amber and Ben, we've been together for 2.5 years, and there's been a deal breaker for a year of our relationship.
Wait, how? Okay.
Sorry, this person said that this person asked the question, what do you do to get over when somebody's kind of crossed your deal breaker? And so this person was explaining to me, like, just so you know, there's a deal breaker has recently happened. And here and now they're about to explain what the deal breaker is because they basically are asking me, do I think this should be a deal breaker?
Okay, got it.
I'm sorry if I was confusing you.
It sounded as if they've been dealing with the deal breaker for a year.
No.
They've been putting up with the deal. Like, for a year I've been putting up with the deal breaker. I was like, wow.
No, the deal breaker happened a year ago, but it's still a sore subject.
And they're still together.
Well, I haven't got there yet.
All right, let's go. I'm not going to interrupt you anymore. Go for it. Read it.
You're okay. This person writes, I found out I have PCOS, and my main focus was to start and try to conceive. I have one ovary since my surgery at a young age. And yes, he knew about all of this and even said we could try at the end of last year. So we had chose a month to start trying, and then it came to him making excuses. And I've asked him, why was he hesitant? He had all these excuses about having a baby. Now, fast forward to now, my condition is getting worse. And I'm not pressuring him, but I told him it's a deal breaker for me if we don't start trying because kids is something I want more than anything. We've talked, we've planned. Just for it to not happen, this is really disappointing. And it's putting a strain on our relationship because I feel like we want different things and now the communication is off. Do you know what PCOS is, Ben?
I could assume.
Okay.
But I'll Google it. All I know is that she has a timeline. She wants kids, and her timeline is a little bit more intense than probably what most people's are.
Yes,
So,
for medical reasons.
for
'Cause
medical
I think it's like a
reasons.
hormone imbalance.
Sure.
Yes.
I figured something along the line. Yeah, it sounds like this is a deal breaker, so you have to break up with them. I mean, deal breakers means this is my boundary, and the result of the boundary is that you're not accepting that I want to have kids, and so you have to leave this man.
Yeah, but I guess she's stuck between a rock and a hard place because it's like, if I have this limited amount of, she probably feels just really robbed by this man because our time
Yeah,
is
that
so
sucks.
precious and our time is so valuable, and that it's going to be harder for me to conceive, and I have this one little window to do it, and now that we've gotten to this window, you don't want to do it. And now I feel like I've wasted my time because I could have met somebody who wanted to do it and then had a kid in this window.
So the question becomes, do you want to have a kid with someone who doesn't want to have a kid with you? Or do you decide to break up with this person and then potentially never have kids? And that's the question you have to ask yourself. And everyone's
Just
gonna
never
have different.
carry. Never carry is a bit. I think.
Yeah.
is a better-
Never carry
a
Yeah.
child. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you could adopt and of
That's
course
a good point.
that's like hard to hear when you want to carry a baby.
Yeah.
But to that you
Be
say
pregnant.
what?
I mean, I would assume that probably the healthiest decision is you really don't want to have kids with people who don't want to be around you, because that means that this person is never gonna. You're probably not gonna have a second parent. There's gonna create lots of animosity.
Right.
But that's the decision this person can only make. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I can tell you my preferences, and I think that the most logical decision is dealing with the fact that you might not be able to ever carry a kid because of this bullshit that you thought that this person you and this person were on the same page. Turns out you weren't. I had a friend, a really good friend, and he we were talking about relationships, and he ended up breaking up with someone he was with for a while that he very much cared about, but she didn't want to have kids and he wanted to have kids.
Right.
And that was the deal breaker, and they had to go separate ways.
You have to.
But this is a little bit more intense. This situation is super intense. So
Yeah, because she's been with this person 2.5 years. She was like, "Hey, I have this,
Condition.
hormone."
It sounded like he agreed to it.
Right. You have to kind of accommodate, like, I have a tight window and you are actually wasting my time. So no, I don't want to just like do the relationship with you every day anymore, which sucks because sometimes you can fall in love with people and the timing is off and you're like, I love everything I have here in front
Why
of
are you
me, but
motioning towards
I don't
me?
love this person's
Why
wants
are
because you're
you-
the only person in the room.
Yeah.
Listen, I love all of this about you.
She's pointing to a plant.
To this plant
now.
right here.
It's like, I love you, but you're not fulfilling my
But we
wants.
don't want the same
Am I
thing.
fulfilling your wants, Amber?
You?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't want a Nintendo Switch. That's what I just
that
wanna
was
be
not
clear
a
about
fulfilled want.
That wasn't. But I would say you fulfill more wants than you don't.
Yeah, like
You definitely are.
like an
Do
80, 20%.
you think you're not?
Oh, I think I'm killing it.
Yeah,
But
you're
last
killing it.
night I thought I was killing it, and then I got woken up out of my sleep. So just because you think you're killing something.
Yeah, but then we connected.
We did
maybe
connect.
maybe
It was
sometimes I kind of I'm like a toddler. I'm like, I just need a little attention.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I'm fulfilling your wants?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I do think that there are times where we have wanted different things. So it is a game of like, how do I convince Ben to want to move to LA too?
Mm-hmm.
How do I convince Ben to want a
Easily.
baby right now too? Because there was a
I'm
time where
easily
I wanted the
convinced.
baby and you didn't at that time. There was a time I wanted to get married and you didn't. So it becomes like, okay, well, I want to be with somebody who wants to marry me, who wants to sign this paperwork, who wants to, be
Yeah.
one entity. So
And there's times I want to go to a convention and have you come along with me and be part of it. You don't want to. You end up going. You're like, oh, this was really good. We staying in a hotel, hanging out in the hotel, enjoying enjoying our time. Or there are times where I'm like, hey, I want to, drive cross country or drive to go hiking or do this thing. And you'll be like, I don't really want to do that. That's not what I like to do for fun. And I'm like, I'm going to convince you.
yeah,
And
you're
I
a
do.
pusher. You push the hell out of me.
We both push each other.
Yeah.
It's you're not like pushing me to move to LA or whatnot. And I think like sometimes people can be resistant to a thing like having a kid, but if that person's resistant, they can also have an open mind. And I've always been so open that anybody could come around and put anything in my mind.
Yeah. What
Like-
do you think is something that I really pushed you on?
Social media. I didn't want to do any of this TikTok baloney, Instagram, making videos and stuff. And you sort of showed me the enjoyableness, the funness of it, obviously the lucrativeness of it.
You didn't want to be on camera, or
I didn't want to like have an Instagram or be on TikTok.
Got you.
Or any of that stuff because it's so addicting. Like you end up
Got
losing
it.
reading
It's not because
time.
you care about like your image and
No, I didn't really care.
or
It was just-
comments.
It was just so much of it. There's so much watch time, like hours on your phone. When your phone pops as you spent 8 hours today on your phone. Like,
Yeah.
God, what was I doing?
Yeah.
Like time just gone away. I could have been reading a book or writing a story. So that was a big reason why I didn't want to be part of this Instagram social media stuff.
For sure.
But the trade-off now is like, okay, I'm on it to do work stuff or to make funny comedy, and then this is just my medium. So if I'm spending 6 hours online finding things or on my phone reading things, that's more okay. Like I didn't want to get an iPhone. I never wanted to have it. I had a flip phone up until 2017, maybe 2020.
Not kidding.
I think
Those
probably
early
I think like
days.
2018. I had like a little flip phone. I did
Oof.
not have a smartphone.
Yeah. Ooh, Lord. The glow up.
I think for most of the time you could only call 911 on my phone.
Man, well, I'm glad you said that because there, on my TikTok algorithm right now, there's this creator. I don't follow her, but she's been popping up everywhere. So she kind of makes all these funny like family videos and her doing her hair videos and dance videos, and she's been having her husband be in some of those videos for the last couple of years, and now he doesn't want to be in any of it. So she has completely like deleted all of the videos of him, and apparently she's like not wearing her wedding ring anymore. So they're like, there's like
Rumors that they
all
broke
the
up.
rumor mill is
I'm also
like,
not wearing my wedding
yeah.
ring, mostly because it hurts my finger.
Yeah, mine does too. Well, this isn't my wedding ring. My wedding ring doesn't fit anymore, but you're gonna get me a new one. It's gonna be fine. But
You're gonna
I'm
give me the money to get you a new one. Brand
Probably.
deals, come through, please.
Yeah, we should literally DM a ring company and be
That'd be
like,
funny.
let's
a great idea.
trade post for post.
Yeah.
But I
By the way, this is how influencers think.
Yeah.
If you want to
Oh,
get,
it is.
like, we're like,
Oh,
oh,
it
we want to
is.
do this thing. We'll just DM this person.
We'll
and-
DM them,
yeah.
and they can say no.
Sort of fucked
but
up,
sometimes they
but-
say yes. And so I was saying with you, I'm glad you're saying I want to be a part of it now, because, and you know what, Ben? I know this sounds like there's no way this is going to be off the table, but I need you to know that if at any point you don't want to be a part of it, you can change your mind. Would you like to change your mind?
I don't want to go back to teaching, Amber.
You don't have to be on camera, though. You can just have me behind the scenes. Would you like to be behind the scenes?
I mean, maybe yes, no. I don't know. Depends on the comedy, right?
Got
Like
it.
Amber last night.
You are bullshitting because you love being in front of the camera.
I love. Hey, anybody who listens to this, if you see me in public and recognize me, come say hi. I think
Ben loves
every time
being
someone does
recognized. It's so annoying.
It helps my ego. I could have a bad day and someone recognizes me, and the glory of the Lord has just shined open. The heavens have come down. The Spirit has ascended, and I got the mercy of God at me for the rest of the day. It's great.
So you do like being on social.
I like being recognized and for being silly and fun.
That's good.
I
wanted to say
want,
that. I wanted
want
to
make
stay
people
fun.
laugh. I love making people laugh.
Me too.
I've loved, making my friends laugh growing up, making my sisters laugh, making my dad laugh was always fun. And I like just shocking people and, being like, oh,
Yes,
he
you
did not
love
just say that.
Antagonizing people and making people feel uncomfortable. Okay. So the last thing we're going to talk about is what we watched together last night. So
Yes.
we watched a movie that's been taking me days to finish, you kind of found it. So why don't you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, this all stemmed from me trying to find movies that Amber and I can both watch. Because sometimes we'll be like hanging out in a hotel room or, Wild went to bed early. And we're like, oh, we got some time. And I don't want to just spend 20 minutes figuring out a movie to watch.
Right.
But I like finding movies that we both will enjoy and we can have a discussion after because I love discussion questions.
Yes, you
and
do.
Talking about it because that actually brings us closer together as a couple.
If I make it to the end of the film. Because
Yeah.
I'm not, like, Ben's that person that can stay awake all night watching a movie, but I can't do it. Like, if I feel sleepy, I'm going down, no matter how captivating the movie is.
The light just keeps me up. I
No.
cannot go to sleep. It's almost impossible for me. So the film we watched was A Simple Favor. It was the same director who did The Heat, which is one of Amber's favorite movies.
Absolutely.
And so I found this
Absolutely.
movie, and it looked really, really fun. And I don't really want to give much away, but it does deal with similar things that we work in, which is focuses on a mommy blogger.
Yep.
And
It's like the stay-at-home mommy versus the corporate mommy. So
Yeah.
Anna Kendrick plays the stay-at-home mommy, and the corporate
Mhm.
mommy is played by Blake Lively. And it's so good.
I didn't even know who Blake Lively was.
Really? Gossip
Yeah.
Girl? Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants?
Oh, she was in. I didn't know she's one of the main characters from Gossip Girl.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Blake
Yeah.
Lively. Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds' wife?
I had no idea.
She's a big deal.
Yeah, so she was phenomenal. Blake Lively. She plays
Oh, yeah.
this very cutthroat businesswoman, and she becomes very good friends with this housewife. And then something happens in the film.
Lots happens.
Lots
Don't even
happens.
spoil.
I don't want to
Where's
talk.
that guy from?
I think
Crazy Rich Asians?
Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes. I was like, I've seen him
And-
before.
Yeah, and so there's very great acting, great twist, turns into a little bit of a thriller.
Great
but
twists.
It was so fun watching it because as we were watching it, the scene cuts. I started counting the seconds between scene cuts, and every 3 to 5 seconds, they went to a new angle because we had just spent a whole week listening to filmmakers talk about film or watching some really bad films where they would just have these long, drawn out scenes. And I started to realize, oh, the thing that I'm so compelled about A Simple Favor is the way that they set up dialogue. So they, will mention, breadcrumbs in one scene, and then they'll reference breadcrumbs in the next scene. Or they'll show a picture at the beginning of the movie, and then that picture becomes very important at the end of the movie. Or
Right.
at one point they show a gun, and you're like, okay, this is Chekhov's gun, where you show a gun at one point, it has to be shot by the third act. And so they follow these really nice formulas of filmmaking
Yeah, they did.
that I think it's a really wonderful film.
It was so good. Like, I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning just so I could finish it, so we could talk about it today, because I was
Yeah.
like, no, I actually want to finish it. It was really good. And I'm not a huge, like, Anna Kendrick fan. She's kind of, mousy, and she's got that, like, just, like, very white vanilla energy. Her and Hathaway can kind of do that
Theater-
sometimes.
theater.
Theater kid. But she did the damn thing. I was like, oh, am I an Anna Kendrick fan? Maybe.
I think
Maybe.
and Anna Kendrick's character is this sweet, innocent person that has these really insightful notices of the world about philosophy, or even just about child rearing, and she has these moments of deep, deep insight that I think makes her character so lovable. And they're making a sequel.
They
And
should.
they're-
It's so good. If you get a chance, please watch A Simple Favor on Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
I don't want to
wherever.
spoil it. I can't
Or
even
get
talk
it from
about
the
it
library because we don't want streaming right now due to the strike. So,
Oh.
yeah,
Lord have mercy.
yeah. So you go find it on the library for free. Don't
find
give
it
these streaming
on-
companies any of your money.
I know it's so hard not to talk about a movie we're watching, but yeah, you're right. Don't do
Library.
that. I know what we're watching next week. If you're coming back next week, or I guess the week after, depending on how Spacey's out. But if you get a chance, please watch Talk Black on HBO Max. We're definitely going to be discussing that in a future episode. It's a 10-15 minute short.
Oh,
And the director was somebody that we met at the Bronze Lens Film Festival that we went to this past week. So watch Talk Black on HBO Max.
cheers.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah,
That supports a
absolutely.
black director.
Yeah,
But I won't. I'll leave the other girls alone. A simple favor. Go watch it somewhere.
it's so good.
Anyway, you ready to get out of here?
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much for listening to another episode of Fly on the Wallin. Keep sending us those marriage questions. Keep doing those Apple Podcast reviews. Well, relationship questions. Keep sending us those Apple Podcast reviews. And we will see y'all next week for the show. Bye, y'all.
You know they're from TikTok, cause those laughs keep you coming, cause they're wildin' all the time. Before wild throws a tantrum, listen to our